Okay, good morning. My name is Mary LaFleur. I'm a local potter, and I am here at Waterbrook Potter's Studio. Sorry. And I'm going to do a demonstration on layering slip. My background is in music, and I'm finding that the music has really influenced my clay work. And so I think you'll see that as we go on. I learned this technique at Penland about 15 years ago from Lana Wilson. And she is just a fabulous potter, and she has such creative ideas. So I've taken her concept and worked it into my own. So we'll get started. Now, the first thing I've done is rolled out a slab, and I painted it with black slip. And it is dry enough now. This is going to be the back of the piece. This is going to be the bottom. And I'm going to so the back and the front will have texture. There we go. So that is that. And then I put a piece of paper over it. And thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to move it. And that is ready now for the first step on the other side.
Can you tilt it up for us?
Yes, of course.
Oh.
And I painted the black slip on the front. All right, so I left out the step of painting the black, but I think you can figure that out. So now what I'm going to do is layer slips onto this. And I'm going to do it in a very fluid way. Make sure all of it's covered. And you want some spots a little thinner, some spots a little thicker. Now, I make my own slips basically with porcelain slip and mason stains. But you can also use the Spectrum underglaze. You can use the Concepts, and these are Mako fundamentals, and they all work. So you don't have to worry about making your own slip. I do have a paper over there that gives you percentages on how to do it, how to make your own. They're over there when we're done. Here's so the ones that I made are in the sorbet containers. The other ones are in their own. Let's see. And let's see, I got a little blue. So that is the first coat of the slips. Now, this one I did earlier, and the first coat is dry. The problem with this is waiting for the slips to dry because it takes a long, long time. So now I'm just going to do another coat with different colors in different places. So and if you have any questions, please ask.
Do you have a favorite black stain that you use in your slips? Because I know some of mine have burned out brown.
It's very black, 6600, I believe. And that does not burn out, that stays black for sure.
Is that the Mason stain
Mason
number?
stain, yes.
And you're mixing underglaze and slip, so it
Yep,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
just mixing them all up. And I call them slips, but you know, you could call them underglazes. I don't know really what the difference is.
Is there a good way to dry your first or second layer? Is there a more efficient way than just letting it dry on its own?
I will probably use the hair dryer on it. That helps a lot. Let's see, how about some more? I really do want to put it down here, you know. So that's the second coat. And now I don't have any modern oven techniques, so we're going to have to dry the slip. And you want it so it's not shiny anymore. That's the sign that it's dry. So, thank you. Here's this. So now I'm going to use you can use anything you want to make texture. You can, I'll start with this, and you're going to go deep and not so deep. Kind of like here, and I'm going to go in, and then light, and then in, and light.
You're alternating pressure?
That's what I'm saying. Yes, you're alternating pressure. So that's what the first one looks like. And then I might want to do this again. And then I'm going to use this tool and cut. There's that. So there's that. And maybe another, I have these ribs that have all different, you could do thicker, thinner. Let's try this one. Let's see what this one does. That. And let's try this one. And let's see. How about some? All right, so there is, so that's what it looks like now. Then, go lift it up first once. And I'm going to roll it.
Mary, what's the rolling do?
I'll show you in a minute. The rolling is going to make it come alive. See how it
Oh, I see.
changes it? It flattens it all out. Needs a little more.
It kind of becomes one with the clay, doesn't it?
I see. It really does make a difference.
And then, I think with this one, I will do just a plate, and we'll have the leftovers to play with. Let's see which one. I'm going to go a little bit bigger around than the plate. before I did that, I should have run my finger around it just to smooth it out, because there's no way to do anything to it again because the black is on. And got a little dirty.
Seems like a process for people who love to surrender to the clay.
That is true, and it's just, and these pieces, if I find I can only do a little bit in one day, I wrap them in plastic and spray them, and then put them in a covered plastic container, and I can use them another day. So that's kind of fun too, because then you forget exactly, thank you, you forget exactly what you had, you know. So let's see if this is drying. Not too bad. I just want you to know I'm singing Rubber Ducky, You're the One.
Sing it out loud.
You can hum it. Very best friend, it's true. Da, 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 da. Joy of joys, when I squeeze you, you make noise.
Well, that's a good transition. Mary, will you tell us about your music? Tell us how that influences your pottery?
There's going to be a rubber duck cutout.
There'll be a rubber duck right there.
I don't know that I can find a rubber duck.
It really does. I listen to music when I work. I just find if it's the fluidity or whatever, it's just all, or sometimes it's choppy and rhythmic, and I just think that it influences it a lot.
I could see that while you were scraping, there were these large, fluid, legato movements.
Legato.
And then while you were using the little carving tool, you were stabbing and jabbing, very staccato, pizzicato,
There you go.
onto the clay. Yeah.
And those black and white lines are like sheet music.
Yes, they are.
Beautiful
It's like,
shaft.
yep, you're absolutely right.
Oh, look at that.
Neat. Nice. Yes.
So this is, I really enjoy this part, using the, notice how,
Rubber duckies.
And no scoring and slipping to join the clay, you're just pressing it in.
yeah, because it's pretty wet. So there's that, and then thank you.
No rubber duckies.
Oh, you didn't look hard enough. There has to be a rubber ducky or
I
something.
know it. I know it. I know where there is one, but that doesn't help.
It almost has a marbleizing effect in some places.
Mm-hmm.
Like marbleize paper.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she has to be good for conversation. Sometimes she doesn't.
Snake slayer.
You're just gonna enjoy that.
I was going to make a mug, but this isn't going to really. It's going to make a better plate. I meant to do this on the other plate too, but I forgot.
Makes this one unique.
Right.
I wanted to go home and work in the yard, but now I want to go home and play in the street.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to decide.
So there's.
That is so fun.
It is fun.
And easy.
And it's so easy. You can do, all it is cutting pieces and using your imagination, rolling it. So there's another thing Lana Wilson did that I love. She made what she called Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah.
That's a kiss. That's a kiss. So it's just a triangle. And you take this. And put it in the blender, and it glues anything together. It's really good on gluing stuff together.
Would you repeat the recipe, please?
Yes.
You would only put a tiny bit on, right, to not smear any other of the slips that you have with this project? I mean, if you smeared the paper clay.
If you, yes, exactly. Another thing to use with this would be magic water, which is just water with like a half a teaspoon of, fill one of these with water and use maybe a teaspoon of sodium silicate, mix it up, and that's called magic water. And that, the sodium silicate really helps glue stuff together.
Would you say the paper clay recipe again,
Yes,
please?
it's 2/3 dry clay, 1/3 toilet paper ripped up, shredded up, water, and maybe, I don't know, I use teaspoons, probably too much. I always use too much. Sodium silicate, and just turn the blender on and let it do its thing, and you've got paper clay. Until it's the thickness, this is a good thickness, heavy cream maybe, heavy cream. So there's that. So
That added to the plate, it's great.
yeah, it just kind of made it a little unique. But those are fun to make. And then cut through when you get the color. This one had, I think the orange was on top of this orange color that I make. And, oh, thank you. Yeah, those are mine. Yeah, thank you. And here's another one with the leftover clay.
Nice.
And then here's another one with the leftover clay. So,
That separation line of the extra with the solid black, it's just very compelling. I just want to look at it all day long.
thank you.
Your
thank
eyes
you.
go right to it.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I do. It didn't take 2 hours.
Mary, what clear do you use over all of this?
Good
I
question.
use Laguna 29.
We have that. Good. Beautiful.
Yeah. And you want to make sure after you glaze it that you really feather it. You want to feather the whole thing really, really well. Because sometimes with all of this stuff, it can give you little pinholes. So you just want to make sure that you've really got it.
And one coat, right? Because I've gotten such milky disappointment when I tried to go heavier It ruins it.
One coat,
One. Okay.
one, not terribly thick, one coat.
We've had a lot of like black burning to brown, but I think it's more the slip, the compound that's in the slip versus, or the,
And its reaction
Underglaze.
to the glaze.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I wanted to show you, there are concepts over here that you can use, these were over there. So you maybe just want to take some out, pour it into a little bowl, because it's hard to get a brush that's decent size.
Yeah.
But these would work too. The concepts would work for the underglaze. And you've got them over there, so.
And those come out shiny, so you don't actually need to put clear over them if you don't want to.
Are they food
think-
safe? Would they be food safe? No.
I think you'd want the glaze over the top, even though they're shiny, I think. And those are papers for you.
But
This one, pardon?
yeah, if you hadn't showed the cone shape, that's
Oh, here's cone shape with the Hershey's Kiss. That's Sister Loretta's, right? Did I give that to you?
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
good. Okay, good.
On my return.
Yeah, so I think that's.
Thank you, Mary.